Welcome to my statistics project for Math 2030 for the spring semester. Okay, so I have decided to look at the percentages of the free and reduced lunch rates across the regions of North Carolina in the school districts. So, my statistics question for this project was, what is statistically different between the North Central region and the Southwest region in regards to their free and reduced lunch percentages? So like I said in the question, I first decided to look at the two largest regions across North Carolina, which are the North Central regions and the Southwest regions. Because I figured that this was the biggest pool of data to pick from, so I could get a better idea of what the free and reduced lunch percentages look like in the different school areas. So for the Southwest region, I decided to randomly pick a school in the region, and this school happened to be the J.H. Gunn Elementary School in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school area. And also I chose a school in the 100th percentile for each area, which you will see in just a second with the North Central School District, or school region, sorry. So for that region, again, I picked a school in the 100th percentile. Whoops, no, I don't want to do that. I want to scroll this way. And this school happens to be, the C.C. Spalding's Elementary School in the Durham Public Schools area in the North Central region. So I will go back to this one just because this is a nicer picture to look at. I've decided, as you can see, to represent my distribution in box plots because I feel that box plots are the best way to show variety throughout this vast amount of data. So we are given over 4,000 points of data, which is a lot of data to go through. So by picking a box plot, this makes it easy to sort of categorize the data into different varieties that make it easier to look at. So if you're to look at the 25th percentile in both the Southwest and North Central areas, you can see that they're both 37%. Then if you go up to the median, North Central is 60, and then the Southwest is 61%. So there's not a whole lot of variation there. So if you were just given the median, you wouldn't think that there's a whole lot of variation between the two regions. But as you can see right up here, that the Southwest region already has a lot more schools. You can see there's more dots here in the Southwest region than there are in the North Central region, especially up here in the 100th percentile. You can see they're stacked up tiny up here. So, but then I saw that this line was quite a bit shorter than the 75th percentile in the Southwest region. So, in the North Central region, there is an 87% in the 75th percentile on free and reduced lunch. But then if you go all the way over to Southwest, you can see that there is 99% in the 75th percentile, which is kind of extreme when you're looking between these two districts that have the same median and the same 25th percentile. And I find that box plots are just the best way to see this, because if I didn't see this, I don't think that I would have realized that the 99% of Southwest was so drastically different from this 87% over here. So when I was doing my research outside of looking just at the data, I decided to look into the household income just to see if my assumptions were correct, and they were that these schools are in the lower income areas. So this is the J.H. Gunn Elementary School, and this is the C.C. Spalding's Elementary School, and you can see that the C.C. Spalding's is actually in a lower income area than the J.H. Gunn Elementary School. And this just gave me the broader sense of why these students might be on free and reduced lunch, because the income is lower in these areas. And so I then decided to look at the school report card. So hold on, let me scroll up to the top. I decided to look at the school report card reports of these elementary schools to get a better look. And this J.H. Gunn Elementary School is a D-rated school, which is, yeah. So they, as you can see right here, they have not met their academic growth, which was for the school year. So, if you see on their EOGs, they did not meet the expected scores for the students, and you can see that these students are not, the incoming student readiness is extremely low. But you can see that almost 50% of these students are economically disadvantaged. And then, if you go down here, their performance is average on these specific areas. They are grade level proficient, which is good. And then you go down here to look at the promotion into the next grade, and you can see that luckily the retention level is quite a bit lower than, is about half actually, of the promotion grade, which, the promoted to grade 4, which is good for the rating of this school. And you can see that the English learner progress is, they are progressing, which is good. And then you go down here and you see the criminal and the bullying and the harassment. They're pretty low ratings, but so I mean that's it's a school, that's gonna happen. And then if you go over to where am I going? Over to the this website right here, you can see that the 43% of the school is black and 41% of the school is Hispanic. When I was looking at these two different schools, you'll see that they're both dominated by minorities, what I would consider minorities, because here in New Hampshire, at least in my schools growing up, it was predominantly white. So this was kind of shocking to see, just going through the different data through North Carolina. And so you see that the gifted and talented, that the 20% of that is black, 40% Hispanic, and 20% white. So the Hispanics are dominating that population right there. But then you see that the total, that 89% are non-white and 100% of the students are receiving free and reduced lunch, which is to be expected when you're looking at a school in such a low poverty area. But this surprised me the most, is that there are 37% of chronically absent teachers that are missing more than 10 days in the 180-day school year, which kind of shocked me, because I would think that in a lower income area you would find that these teachers would want to be the person that these students needed, but we also don't know much behind this other than just the number, but this number it very much shocked me. And then when you see the discipline, you see that the out-of-school suspensions are mostly black students, and some Hispanic and some white students, but you can see that most of them are black. But then you can also see that it's the dominant race at that school, so that kind of shocked me a little bit to see that high number. But that was it for this school. But then so now I'm going to go over to the, let me go back to the top, the C.C. Spalding's Elementary School. And you can see that this school has a lower rating. It's an F-rated school, but they have met their academic growth that they were expected to perform to. So they have met each of their EOG grades and such. And then you can see that the incoming student readiness is much higher. And then, but it also shocked me that in this school district, that 74 almost 75% of these students across that they are economically disadvantaged, which kind of surprised me that they're more ready, but they're also more economically disadvantaged. Again, pretty average. Actually, it's a little bit lower than the other school here. But this is the one that shocked me the most. I kind of had to take a step back when I had seen this originally when I was going through this data. But more than 50% of their third grade students are retained into in the third grade, and only 48.1% are actually promoted to grade 4. So it actually extremely shocked me that the retention rate was over 50% and higher than the promotion rate in this school. And going down here in the criminal, the bully harassment, and the law enforcement, this just, it didn't shock. It's not like these numbers are high or any, by any means, but in regards to comparing them to this school, which had a 1, and then you come here and you see 8, it's a little shocking. But that's just one of my observations. And then if you go to this website again, you see that this one actually, there is 79% Black students and 15% Hispanic students. So the population of Black students is quite high. So you can see here 95% are non-white, and then 99% on free and reduced lunch, which, again, not surprising just because of the lower income areas, especially the school, because it's coming from the lower income area, the 21K per household. And then this one here, only 27%, which still really kind of high, but you can see here that it's 10% lower than the other school of chronically absent teachers per school year, which is interesting. And then you go down to your discipline and you see 91%. When I saw this 91%, I was a little shocked, but then again, you look up here at the largest population of race, and you see that Black is the highest population, and there are actually more, I believe there are more, yes, more out-of-school suspensions in this school than the other school. So, this was my project for Math 2030 on the statistics unit, and my comparison between the different regions of North Carolina based on the percentage of free and reduced lunch in the North Central region and the Southwest region